So, Kerrie, can you remember back to the first moment that you even thought, I might do the Soul Pleaser program?
Yes, I can, because it was actually Cheryl recommended that I do it from Farmhouse Academy. Yeah, she did. Me being a classic people pleaser, so I was doing 50 million things in the community. I was completely frazzled, had a lot going on, and Cheryl very kindly sort of went, "I think, Kerrie, you need to do the Soul Pleaser." And I went, "Okay." So I spoke to Andrew about that, and then he goes, "Just do it." And I went, "Sorry, that's when I rang you." And I was feeling very overwhelmed. I was, pretty much out of control, really. Sort of I had a lot on my plate, and I just was so unfulfilled. I just felt crazy, out of control, chaos. I just didn't feel like I had a purpose. I didn't feel like I was just going through the motions.
Yeah, that's such a good way of describing it, just going through the motions. And so the overwhelmment, was it just taking too much on? Were you just saying yes to everything?
Yes, I was. I was saying yes to everything. So just coming from a small country community, both our kids were very sporty, and for a sporting facility or a sport to run, you basically need a committee, and you needed to be. So I was on, I felt like 50 million committees, but I was on about 3 committees, and and then we're doing stuff for the bushfire brigade, and then I was working full time, and we were trying to run a farming business as well. So
that is so much,
and every weekend,
like when you reflect on, like when you say it like that now, can you see how much it is? Like when you're in the middle of it, it's like you don't even realize how much you're doing it. But when you say it out loud now, you're like, oh wow, no wonder I was really overwhelmed. Like that is so much.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It was crazy. And I think I was getting very frustrated with myself because I wasn't doing a good job at anything. So it was sort of, it was terrible because, I wasn't doing a good job at anything. So, yeah.
And did you have any time for yourself back then when you were doing all those things?
No self-time at all. I was trying to train for a triathlon at the same time. Wow. But the training just went by the way. So I was just getting so tired and run down, and I'd start and then I'd have to just stop because I just got too tired, and so nothing for myself at all.
Yeah. And on reflection, knowing what you know now, you can see why you felt like you did, because you had no time for yourself, but the thing that you were going to do for yourself was yet another goal to reach. Like it was another thing to push yourself in. That's what you were trying to add on to your already crazy life.
Yes, that's right, exactly. So, as usual, being a mother, and the stuff for you is the first thing that goes. Yeah. So that was the first thing that had to be removed. But of course, that was probably the best thing I should have done for myself. But I didn't. So,
exactly, exactly. And so, for those people who are watching this and thinking, "Oh, I can totally relate," like completely relate to how you were, they're probably thinking, well, yes, it was great for Cheryl to recommend the Soul Pleaser course, but how on earth could you then add the Soul Pleaser program on top of what you're already doing? So what was your experience of that? Like once you actually said, yes, I'm going to do this, how did you manage to add the Soul Pleaser program to your already hectic life?
Well, the first thing I did was, so I did the first module. So I just said to Andrew one weekend and to the kids, Mum's just having some time. She just needs, so I just locked myself in my bedroom and did the first module. And it took me probably all week to get that module done, because I'd listen to it for 20 minutes and then I'd do the activities, and then I'd go, I've got to think about this. So then I'd go back, and so it took me about a week to get done. And after I'd done that week, the first module, I went, oh wow, okay. So then I started saying no to lots of everything, and then I started resigning off committees and just saying I really need this. I started going for walks every afternoon when I got back from school, and would walk listening to the modules, and all I did was cry for the first couple. I remember sending you a text going, oh my goodness, Tracy, why am I crying all the time? So I'd be walking along loving all I do is just cry.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
just,
that gives me goosebumps.
everything.
That gives me goosebumps because what you don't realize at the beginning, you know, you've come so far since then, that what you didn't know then, that the crying was the best thing that could ever happen to you. But at the time, it feels foreign, because what would you say you were like in terms of letting yourself cry before you did module 1?
Oh, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have cried. I just would just, as now I know, I just push it down. I just push it down and just let it sit, and then forget about it, because I was so busy anyway. So I didn't have time to. I just sort of go, whoa, okay, emotion, no, can't do that. So I pushed it down, and that was just moved on.
Yeah.
Sort of got myself, just busied myself. So I think that, and maybe that was one of the things why I kept busy, was I didn't want to deal with the emotions.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, such great insight. Because that's exactly what we do, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't have time for emotions, and I was probably afraid of them, and so I numbed myself. My addiction was busyness. I kept myself doing all the time, so that I must have intuitively known that if I gave myself a tiny space, I would burst into tears. So I didn't give myself any space in case I cried. And I don't think I knew that intellectually, but part of me must have known that. And I think that's why so many women are flat out busy. Based on what you've learned in the program, when you reflect on how flat out you were, apart from avoiding your emotions, why else do you think that you said yes to everything and you just kept yourself so busy taking on more and more things when you clearly didn't have time for them?
I think one of the reasons why is probably because, I was a classic people pleaser. I sort of, I was in a small country community. I suppose I wanted people to, I suppose I did sort of wanted people to go, wow, isn't she amazing? She's, doing all this extra work and doing such great things for the community. I know one of the biggest things when I was going through the modules is that, I was trying to please my parents. That was a big factor, to be the perfect daughter that, does everything and does it well and, successful and all that type of thing. So, so that was a big factor that, and also I suppose the fear of failure as well, of, not succeeding in life or that type of thing, which of course now, completely reconstructed and realised that was just a futile goal, really.
Yeah. And doesn't it allow you to redefine your definition of success? Because what you were going for was the success that you thought at the time was successful, but I bet it didn't feel successful while you were in the middle of it because you were so frantic.
No, it was horrendous. It was terrible. So I kept on seeking, but whatever I was seeking, I wasn't receiving. So I just kept on, trying to seek it again, in more things, and I just wasn't, realizing that I just had to actually have to be happy with myself and who I was. Stuff everyone else.
Yeah. So, and I think I was on an interview a couple of days ago, and one of the questions from the ladies was, I've been a people pleaser for so long, I'm actually scared about how people will react if I stop being a people pleaser. So what would you say to that? How did people react as you gradually dropped some of the people pleasing behaviours?
So everyone because I was fearful that people would judge, and which is, of course is your biggest fear, is that people are going to judge, going, oh God, she doesn't do anything in the community, blah blah blah. But I sort of think she just rocks on up with the kids and then just disappears and doesn't do anything. That was my biggest. So judgment was my biggest fear. But it's interesting when I actually explain to people, look, I've got this to do, and my, I really want to concentrate on our business and spend time with the kids. I also teach as well. So everyone was like, totally understand. Absolutely, you just do you. I totally understand. When one person steps away, there's always someone that's going to come up and fill the gap. And usually the people that fill the gap are better than you anyway, because they've actually got time and they've actually chosen to do that. So So it wasn't a negative experience at all. If anything, it was really positive, and I had a lot of support, and a lot of people said, you know, good on you. That's so good. You know, oh, I wish I could do that sort of thing. I'm going, well, why don't you? Sort of thing. So yeah, so the relief was amazing, and our family certainly noticed it, because I was becoming a lot calmer. I wasn't as stressed. I wasn't like, come on, we're gonna go, you know, that type of thing. So it was, yeah, the calm started to settle, and everything started to settle, which was lovely.
Yeah. And one of the great things is that when the wife, the mother, the center of the home becomes calmer, there's a real flow-on effect. What have you noticed with your family as a result of you letting these things go and becoming calmer and happier and more aligned with your purpose?
Well, we certainly, you know, the thing that I was really wanting to have is quality time with the kids, and I wasn't doing that because I was racing around all over the place. So we're actually doing that now. So, and we're actually timetabling, you know, so that we actually have time. So the weekends are weekends now with our kids, which is just so delightful. We're a lot calmer with our business. I can make clearer decisions. And I'm not sort of going, oh, you know, what if, or, and I'm not sort of second guessing myself. So the decision making has become a lot easier. And as a result, we're just all calm. Like, you know, my husband's calmed down. Our health has improved. Our kids are a lot calmer. They're not, you know, as agitated and frustrated and you know, fighting. And it was always tension, but there isn't anymore, because we're not rushing. We're not rushing anywhere. We're just enjoying the moment. And I think that's the one thing, is my awareness and consciousness has improved. And so I do just enjoy every moment now. So as I was at the retreat, Tracy, you know, how we were talking about, you know, scenery and the angels going, oh, I do that all the time now. It's just amazing. It's just beautiful. So I stop, and the kids sort of notice that. So, and they're doing it too now, which is lovely. So we're just really appreciating where we are and what we're doing and why we're doing it. And it's lovely.
Oh, that's amazing. So you've touched on every aspect of your life, really. So you're saying that your health has improved, your decision making, which means your business is improving, and your relationships are improving.
Yes, absolutely. And you can, and every day it just improves. Days are becoming easier. There's you know, I don't know how to explain it, but every day I used to have all these things go wrong, and I'd always go, oh, you know, whereas now days are just so easy, and seems to have more time, and it's just more pleasurable. Like, you actually want to get up in the morning and go, wow, you know, what's today going to bring, sort of thing. So yeah.
It's so great, isn't it? Because, you know, when you explain this to other people, if they haven't done the Soul Pleaser program or something similar, it's hard for them to imagine how you could have such a transformation, because we're literally only talking about 12 months. You only joined the program 12 months ago. And I say to people on their first day, I say, you won't recognize yourself 12 months from now. And it's very hard to believe at the beginning, but you can see what I'm saying by the way that you feel
absolutely
now.
I can feel it. I feel better in myself. I've got a lot more confidence, so much so that I've actually resigned from school. So, you know how we're talking
congratulations. Oh wow, you've told them.
Yes.
Wow,
so
fantastic. How does that feel?
Oh, just amazing. And then we had our alignment session with the freaks yesterday at the farm, and it just really affirmed that that's the right decision. And I'm really looking forward to the future, and just it's like a massive relief, a big weight off my shoulders, and I just know that it's the right decision, and looking forward to what happens next.
Oh, and what I love about the way you said what happens next is that's the other level of confidence that comes from this work, is that you completely trust life. So you're not like, I'm worried about what's going to happen next. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? It's like, I'm just excited to see what happens next, because you have this real sense of calmness and a real knowing with the decision. You mentioned before that you used to second guess yourself, which is a real people pleaser symptom. And when you have this sense of knowing, which is part of what happens when you align with your soul, because you've got this wisdom that you can connect to. So you just have this knowing. But I'd love you to share the story of how at the end of your 12 months in Soul Pleaser, you came to the retreat, which was last weekend. And one of the things that you said right at the beginning of the retreat, because we all have a welcome circle and we talk about why we're there. And you said you feel like you're at a bit of a crossroads. And so if you'd like to share how you ended up making this decision at the retreat.
Yeah, so as Tracy, as you said, I turned up and I was still really not sure whether to continue with school or to give up school and actually work on our business. So I met a lovely lady that actually all the ladies were there were absolutely amazing. But Leanne, who was an ex-teacher, so she runs this amazing program, 𝐂𝐤𝐾𝐞. And I just saw her. I just saw her. She was just so happy and joyful and relaxed, and she just had this vitality and energy that she was just radiating from her. And I'm thinking, wow, if she's experiencing that when she's actually left school, geez, I would love some of that. So yeah, so and then just just watching her confidence and she was, you know, graceful and just all those things that I suppose that you seek. I thought, wow. And then I had a little bit of discussion with her, and I thought, yeah, no, this is the right decision. And so I sort of mulled over it for 24 hours, and then I thought, no, this is the right decision. So I told some of the girls, and as I told them, I love black cockatoos. They're one of these birds that I'm just fascinated by. And a flock of black cockatoos flew past as I was sort of, convinced this was the right decision. So that was a reaffirming again that I think this was the right thing to do. So yes, it was very goosebumpy.
It was so exciting. And at the beginning of the retreat, I said, there is no, I love how much fun you're having with your kids. It's awesome. If mine were home, they'd do something like that too. Yeah. And I just loved how, at the beginning in the welcome circle, I said, there is no coincidence about who is here. Everybody is here, are meant to be here. You're all meant to meet the people who are here. And of course, Leanne being an ex-teacher, and Leanne would have shared that her story was that she was the principal of a small rural area school when she started the Soul Pleaser program, so overwhelmed, so miserable. And as a result of doing the work, she, left, which, everyone... And she really felt very proud of herself to get to principal level. And so the whole people-pleasing thing was about staying as the principal, and she left and now does this incredible work with kids. So yeah, it's so exciting. And so how are you feeling now? What would you say is different about you, the Kerrie today, compared to the Kerrie 12 months ago?
So the Kerrie today is a very happy, content, at peace, basically. Because I remember when I first spoke to you, that first call, I just said, oh, Tracy, I just want to be at peace with myself, sort of thing. So I am very much that. I'm confident. I'm looking so forward to the future, and I'm not worried. As I said, I just have this knowing, this trust that life is for me, and things are going to work out, and I'm really looking forward to the journey. So it's really interesting. When I was a little kid, I used to love the saying, it's the journey that's the most important, not the destination. And when I had the kids, when they were babies, I actually did sort of a little embroidery for them, and they have that saying hanging in their rooms. And I was just sort of thinking, oh my goodness. So, at times I was connected, but I just got so busy and lost in everything. So it's just really nice to know that I'm actually coming back to my soulful self, is probably the best way to describe it. So yeah, just happy, love life, and just look forward to what's going to happen next.
Oh, that is so goosebumpy as well. Like the fact that you believed that so much back then, and it is the busyness that distracts us from what we really know. And you also touched on how things are getting easier and things are just falling into place. And what you know now is that the calmness within you comes first. And when you become this at peace, calm person who trusts, then everything does fall into place. Things don't go wrong all the time, because it's really a mirror of how we're feeling on the inside. So it's great to see that tangible proof as well in your life.
Yes, and it's I can remember you saying it. I'm thinking, oh, you're right. I think I was thinking, but seriously, it does. It parking spots just appear, and all those things that used to go wrong or I used to get frustrated with, you know, those little tiny things I get frustrated with, I just go, you know, I'm not at all fussed by things. No, stress is no longer a word in my life at the moment, which is, you know, considering, you know, where we've just done some major steps, big steps in our business, and anyone should think that I'd be majorly stressed, but no, I'm not. I just know that it's going to work, and that I just get in there and enjoy every moment. So yeah, so look, the calm is amazing.
Yeah. It's such a great way to live your life, isn't it? Is to just feel good all the time.
And your relationships with everyone improves as well. So, you know, again, the way you see yourself is reflected in all your relationships. So that's improved dramatically. Sort of, you know, we went through a pretty tough succession plan, where, you know, some of our family members have still got mental health issues, and I feel as if now I can actually now resonate with them, and actually I think I could probably just, I don't know, deal with it in a lot better way, and not judge, and actually maybe guide and help. So who knows? But yeah, it's just it's not a stress anymore.
Yeah, you've moved into acceptance. You know, step 2, there is a lot of acceptance in step 2, and you may have experienced this, that you can't do step 2 all at once. You accept what you're ready to accept to begin with in step 2, and then you move forward, and then something else comes up, and then you're ready to accept that. And so if there are people in your family with mental health issues and you can accept them being where they're at, then you can be okay with it without wishing that they would be different. And I think that a lot of people watching this video will really respond to that and resonate with that, and realize that they're pushing up against something that they can't control, and it's only making them miserable.
Yeah. That's it. And that's the thing. I sort of, you know, I could get really upset about the whole thing, but that's just, I'm just bringing hurt against on myself. So why would you do that? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So just accept what it is and enjoy the moment. And of course, and I remember when you were talking about you and your mum in regards to when she wasn't well, and I'm sort of starting to experience that, sort of go down that pathway with my parents. You know, I want to spend that time with them and really enjoy the time, and just accept, you know, it's their decision. It's not mine. So enjoy that time, you know, laugh with them, you know, enjoy those really pleasurable moments with them, because, you know, you don't know how long it's going to be. So, yeah, so that's what's really nice, that I actually consciously made that decision, whereas before I just go, oh, I just don't have time. Yeah. Whereas now it's like, no, I do.
And I think that's where the divine timing come in. Like, if you look at the number of people in the Soul Pleaser program at the moment who have their parents have transitioned, or they're close to, I think for you to know this before your parents go is incredible. I'm so grateful that I knew what I knew right at the time, so that my whole priority was to be there. After being a workaholic in my own businesses all my life, really, since I was 18, all of a sudden everything got dropped and I was just by mum's bedside. And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for that time. I think your real values, your true values, come to the forefront when you let go of the need to prove yourself. I think that's a big part of people pleasing, is that we're trying to reach some definition of success that we don't even enjoy, because deep down we are trying to please, like you said, your parents, the community, our family, you know, our friends, all the people that don't care. They're only worried about themselves.
Right, everyone but yourself. That's like
it's crazy once you realize. That's amazing.
Absolutely. So so I really thank you for that, because it's been amazing that I've had that, you know, and I'm so grateful that I've had this revelation, so I can actually enjoy my time with my parents and not have that negative connotation with them. Now I can actually really enjoy being with them. It's lovely.
Yeah, and totally accept them for how they are. You know, sometimes with our parents, we love them so much and we're trying to please them, but we can be very judgmental of our parents. You know, they're from a different generation, different conditioning to us, and we can, you know, blame them for that. And when we just understand how life works and realizes that that's their journey and this is our journey, we can just love them exactly as they are. And it's just a beautiful place to be, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I'm really thrilled that I'm there, that I can actually enjoy that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So Kerrie, if somebody was watching this and they were thinking, yeah, I can relate to what you're saying, and I'm feeling a bit nervous about it, and I'm not sure whether it would be for me. What would your advice be to someone who's thinking about it?
Well, I suppose, again, thinking back to, you know, the beginning of the year, I was probably judgmental of myself, thinking, oh, you don't need help. You know, this is, you just keep soldiering on. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, that type of thing. Why do you need help? But as I've progressed through the year, the revelations and the growth that I've had is just, it's hard to describe, but you just become such a calm, peaceful person within yourself. And I notice now that I am, that I'm actually achieving a lot more. A sort of, yeah, just the peace, I suppose, is the best way of describing it. Sort of, I was at war with myself. I was at war with everything, whereas now I'm just so at peace, and I really recommend it. Just to calm that crazy mind of yours, you know, that goes around. So, you know, I always say to the kids, you know, my little hamsters are getting puffed out. So now they're, you know, lying up there with a beach umbrella and a cocktail, you know, having a lovely time.
I love that visual. The hamsters are like laying on their backs.
So yeah, so it's just, yeah, I suppose the calm and the peace is just the one thing that I was really seeking, and I certainly have that, and just the knowing now. So my word for this year is trust, and it's just, you know, trust the universe. It's there for you. Just enjoy the moment. Yeah.
So well said.
I totally recommend it.
Yeah. Oh, Kerrie, thank you so much. Everything that you've shared is so inspiring, and everyone who watches this will really pick up on your vibration and really feel what you're saying, as well as hear what you're saying. And so I really appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I can't say it enough. Thanks, Tracy. It's, as I said, for someone who thought they didn't need help, I certainly did. And it's made a massive difference to not only my life, but the family, and just